So Duke and I were thinking this morning, what makes some companies more successful over other companies? And it brought me to this digital marketing tip. The digital marketing tip is that you need a monthly communications calendar. If you don't have a monthly communications calendar, it's almost impossible to reach your business goals. There's so much going on. If you don't have the calendar to help you focus, you're not going to reach your business goals. And we're finding that is consistent with all of the clients that I work with, those that create a monthly communications calendar, as we do in our workshop sessions together. Those that create it and then keep it going. And the key is those that keep it going after I check in with them, say in 3 months' time, those consistently who have done well in their marketing and are seeing business goals achieved and exceeded are those that have created their monthly communications calendar. So I've created a few steps for you on how you can create your monthly communications calendar. You want to think strategically. Choose a date that's manageable. Maybe it's 3 months out, maybe it's a year out. And what do you want people to think about you? And what do I mean by that? Strategically think about what makes you different. What makes your product or services different? Why should they trust you? So think about it that way. Why would they trust me over someone else? So we haven't talked about the features of a product yet or anything. We're talking about what makes you different, what makes your products different. So why would they trust you? So then once you do that, you're able to say, okay, what are the 3 or 4 main stories that you're going to tell? And I meant stories. What are the 3 or 4 main things you want them to think about? And you're going to be telling stories about each of those things. So if it might be that you're going to be talking about the fact that you grow your own produce, if that's something you're doing, or the fact that you happen to be at certain grocery stores, or you happen to be selling your product at certain markets, maybe they all go into bucket number 2. Or maybe that you are an award-winning chef, so you want to talk about some of your recipes, you want to talk about the awards, maybe that goes into bucket number 3. And maybe that you're a family-run company, and that goes into why they would trust you. So those are the 4 buckets. By the end of the summer, for example, in this case, and this is something we were working on with a client of mine, the 4 things that they want people to know about them, which will result in sales, is how they grow their product, is where they can buy their product, is the awards and the reputation, the certification this company has, which is bucket number 3, and the fact that this company is a family-run company and they got great puppies, they got great kids. So that's bucket number 4. Okay, so those are the 4 things that when you think of this company, by the end of the summer, you're going to think about. So step number 3 then becomes choose the calendar of choice. Choose the calendar where you're actually going to be able to, everyone that's involved in marketing in the company or in sales or in receiving clients, any points of presence with the client, they need to know what you're marketing. So they need to know what's in your communications calendar. If they don't know what's in their communications calendar, they won't know how to respond to clients that are asking about X or Y product. So in that case, you need to decide, okay, I'm going to have a large wall calendar in my staff room, or maybe I'm going to have a staff electronic calendar that everyone has access to and they can see the marketing that's going on, or a handwritten calendar or a desktop calendar, whatever works for you, whatever it is you can maintain. So this is actually an example of one of my most successful clients, and this is what they do. They actually get together and they create a calendar, and on that calendar it's just handwritten. They all come around the kitchen table because it's a family-run company, and they say, okay, for this coming month, what are we going to do? Okay, we know that we want people to come to our shop. We want people to know about our educational programs that we have. We want people to know about our certification, and that's about it. In their case, it's working really well, and it just happens to be a piece of paper. Another client I work with, Central Smith, they have a large calendar that they have in a central location where everyone here that happens to be involved in their marketing, they have it all on this type of calendar, and that works well for them. They look forward, they see what's going on. In another video tutorial, I'll talk about my 3-month rule, or my 3-month 3-month steps towards an event. That's a little bit different, but that would be worked into this same calendar. Okay, so step 3 is choose the type of calendar that works for you guys. There's another one of my clients, they have, you can't see it right there, but there's a desk calendar. It's actually a desk calendar, and on there they have it in one location. Actually, it changes location from time to time, but everyone can see what's coming up in the communications calendar. So it works out really well. Something that you've got to do. Step number 3 is what calendar you're going to use. Then step number 4 is really important, is sprinkle all of those elements that we just talked about across the calendar appropriately. What this helps you do is, if you realize you're only talking about item number 1 throughout your whole calendar, well, no wonder people don't know anything about item number 3, or they don't know that we're family run. So you want to sprinkle the elements across the calendar appropriately. I have one client that doesn't post every day, but what they do is they have a few posts a week only, and they have different mediums that they work with. They work with paper, they work with television, they work with radio, one communications calendar, and of course they work with social media. So everything cross purposes and complements each other. So step number 5 is make sure that you repurpose, and complement any material that you create for one medium to another medium. It's going to change forms from one medium to another medium, and that's what our next tutorial is going to be all about, is how to types of content to drive success. I say it over and over again. You can't have a flyer and just have a television commercial with a flyer. You're not going to be successful that way. So you need to make sure that the content you create is effective for the individual social media platform that you're choosing, as well as for any of the traditional types of marketing platforms you're choosing, radio, television, or newspaper. So that's what next week's digital marketing tip is on, types of content to drive success. I hope that you now will sit down and follow my 5 steps and create your content calendar.